Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava on Vedic literature. So there is one essay or chapter in Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava with the title Vaishnavism and Vedic Literature. So basically we'll be reading from that. Maybe a little comment in between. Okay, let's begin. The authority of Shruti or Smriti was accepted as axiomatic by almost all traditional Vedic scholars and also affirmed by Gaudiyas. This is little debatable statement, although it will be clarified later. Because at least Gaudiyas,
you don't have to share.
Not shared
From there.
Oh.
Should I do from here?
Yeah, you can do that then. You can slowly pull down also. But no one is there, I think, right? Okay, you all want to see, you can see this.
He also has internet. Photo, yes.
What photo?
Which I took just now.
But
So
so,
directly book में भी देख सकते
but so then you will operate then. You have to keep scrolling that.
I think there also that happened.
Okay, the authority of Shruti or Smriti was accepted as axiomatic by almost all traditional Vedic scholars and also affirmed by Gaudiyas. At least in Vaishnava Sampradaya, they gave equal importance to Smritis. Because even Madhvacharya, in his commentary on Vedanta Sutra, he often quoted Smritis. And so even Ramanuja Sampradaya also. Then Gaudiyas, of course. Our main text among all the most respected. So Bhagavatam is given highest importance to. Bhagavatam is given highest importance. And if you see Srila Prabhupada, he used to criticize Mayavadi. Mayavadi schools, they didn't give so much importance to Smritis. Means they consider them as secondary evidence. So Srila Prabhupada would criticize Mayavadis for not accepting the authority of Smritis. He would always quote that Nyaya or the Kukuta Nyaya, saying that it is a half-end logic because Smritis also have to be accepted as authority, equal importance. So Gaudiyas. Here one footnote is there on this, also affirmed by the Gaudiyas. Why it is said like this? So Maharaj here he gives evidence for that. Gaudiya position is stated by Lord Chaitanya himself. See 2.6.135. This 2 means 2.6.135 means it is Madhya Leela 6th chapter. Madhya Leela 6th chapter is conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that Sarva Pramanera Madhya Shruti Pramana Sreshta. Among all the Pramana, Shruti Pramana is Sreshta. I feel it is little, I said that this is a debatable topic because a statement, and of course here also it will get clarified now after this statement, because this first statement is not a conclusive statement. So here in this chapter it will be very clearly clarified that Smritis are equal to Shrutis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that but I feel that there is some contextual meaning to that, because the context there is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to impress Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, saying that the direct meaning of Vedanta, because the discussion was on Vedanta there. So the direct meaning of Vedanta can be found in Upanishads. Even Upanishads also can be called as Vedanta. Why? Why Upanishads can be called as Vedanta? Because they are the last portions of the Vedas. So in Vedas there are Samhitas, Brahmanas and the Aranyakas. So the last portions of the Aranyakas are Upanishads. So therefore Upanishads are also called as Vedanta. And also because this Vedanta is basically Vedanta Sutra it's a hermeneutical book on Vedas or Upanishads, basically, if you say, if you want to say. Hermeneutical means how to understand the statements of Upanishads. So because in Purva Mimamsa, that is, what we call as Karma Mimamsa. In Karma Mimamsa, they had done a great work on interpreting Vedic statements. So, but then they ended up in Karmavad. That Karmakanda portions of the Vedas are most important part. So now again there was a need for properly explaining the Vedic statements. Therefore, Vedanta Sutra is hermeneutics on Upanishads, especially Upanishads. Hermeneutics means understanding scriptural statements. That is a branch of philosophy. So, how to interpret them, how to understand them. So, there is pramana, that is epistemology, then there is hermeneutics. So, in this way, we can call it as direct meaning. So then if you want to understand Vedanta, Vedanta was written to understand Upanishads. Now again, there are again debates on Vedanta. What is the meaning of the sutras? So there is Advaita Vedanta, then Dvaita, then Vishishta Advaita, Achintya Veda, Veda Veda, Shuddha Advaita. So all based on Vedanta. So then there is again another dispute. So to say that then, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the real meaning or the original meaning, actual meaning, direct meaning of Vedanta Sutra can be found in the Upanishads. So every statement of the Vedanta is linked with some Upanishadic statement. For instance, some time back I gave one lecture on 11 levels of happiness. In Hindi I gave from Taittiriya Upanishad. So that is linked with that portion of Taittiriya Upanishad where 11 levels of material happiness is described. That is linked with the 12th Sutra of Vedanta, that is Anandamayo Vyasat. So Ananda, So where it is discussed, Ananda is. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, levels of Ananda is discussed. So in this way, of course, different commentators on Vedanta, they linked the verses, sutras of Vedanta with the different portions of the Upanishads, but it is their moral duty to link them to, if you are a commentator on Vedanta, it is your moral duty to link them to some or the other statements of the Upanishads or portions of the Upanishads. Every sutra is linked. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that from that context we can understand that on Vedanta the highest pramana is Shruti. On Vedanta the highest pramana is Shruti. So some contextual meaning that can be understood on that, but anyway, that if you just take that statement, that it appears that, but in this chapter Maharaj will clarify and he will quote, explain that how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also gave equal importance to Smritis than Shrutis. Equal importance with the Shrutis, sorry. Okay, I'll continue reading. The authority of Shruti over Smriti was accepted as axiomatic by almost all traditional Vedic scholars and also affirmed by Gaudiyas. However, Arya Samajis and few others took the extreme stance of recognizing only Shruti and not Smriti as genuine Shastra. So, not only Arya Samajis, among the traditional Vedic circles, Sankhya, Nyaya, Mimamsa schools, everyone has their own opinions on significance of these different scriptures. They particularly stress study of Upanishads, which they venerated as the cream of Shruti, while rejecting the Puranas and non-Vedic as mere stories meant for persons insufficiently intelligent to tackle the high philosophy of the Upanishads. Thus, they equated the Vaishnavas giving prominence to the Puranas as being symptomatic of unscholarly, naive sentimentalism. So here there is a comment on this. This is simplified and thus not universally accurate presentation of a complex topic. For example, not only are the relative merits of Shruti and Smriti disputed among certain scholars, but also that which constitutes them. For instance, opinions vary as to whether Bhagavad Gita, the Aranyakas, and Brahmana portions of the Vedas and other texts are Shruti or Smriti. So like that, there is dispute among the Vedic followers. But Vaishnava Acharyas had always contested such claims, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was heir to their controversy. Especially in his addressing learned non-Vaishnavas, a recurrent theme was the misunderstanding that Vaishnavism in general and the Gaudiya Vaishnavism in particular is non-Vedic and therefore not on par with philosophical lucubrations of those who deemed themselves distinguished Vedic authorities. So, people will bring up so many arguments. So, like that. In reply to such challenges, Srila Saraswati Thakur highlighted Gaudiya appreciation of Upanishads and simultaneously upheld the Vedic status of the Puranas. So here Puranas. Okay, I will make some comments on this. He cited that Srila Jiva Goswami, the accepted philosophical authority for the Gaudiyas, had in his canonic Sandarbhas quoted widely from the Upanishads. And also great Gaudiya Acharya Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan had not only prepared his Govinda Bhashya and Vedanta Sutra, with profuse quotations from the Upanishads, but also personally commented on 10 principal Upanishads. So Jiva Goswami not only quoted in Sandarbhas, but he also, everyone did that. If you just read Bhagavad Gita as it is of Srila Prabhupada, you will see that in almost every purport, you can say at least 70% of the purports have quotes from Upanishads. In some purports, many quotes are there from the Upanishads, right? So, of course, here we are talking about. So, previous acharyas simultaneously upheld the Vedic status of the Puranas. Jiva Goswami, he established in his Tattva Sandarbha especially, that how Puranas are also Vedic, and the Vedic literature themselves again and again, and Bhagavatam also we said that Puranas are Panchama Veda Uchyate, like that. So Puranas are considered as fifth Veda. So we have so many evidences for that. And Jiva Goswami, he took a lot of care and trouble to establish that how Puranas are also. So he quoted from many Vedic evidences saying that how when Vyasadeva, while compiling Vedic literatures, he divided the Vedic knowledge and then he put them into four Vedas, and within four Vedas there are how many? 1180 Veda Shakas are there. 1180 Veda Shakas, and each Veda Shaka is again divided as Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. So in this way he divided, and the remaining after this four Vedas, remaining portion he put in Puranas. So therefore Puranas are also Vedic only. Not only that, the most significant thing is Jiva Goswami, he established that generally sometime even some Vedantists, they put, when they discuss about Pramanas, Shabda Pramana is Veda. Again in Shabda they divide into two parts. One is Apaurushaya Shabda and another is Paurushaya Shabda. And Apaurushaya Shabda is Veda, which is eternal. And there is no author for that, authorless. Apaurushaya means author, according to them it is authorless. And Paurushaya Shabda means that which is written in line with the Apaurushaya Shabda. That is author with author, it is authored by someone. So sometimes because Puranas were written by Vedavyas, so they say that, they are Paurushaya Shabda, like that. In this way they give them put them in a different category. Like that there are so many disputes among the Vedic scholars. But anyway, our in Gaudiya Acharyas, Puranas are also Apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means they should be anadi, there should not be beginning from them, they are eternal. There is no mundane author, human author, supramundane, something like that you can say. So now how is that Puranas have Now, how is that Puranas have, they are historical in nature if you see it. Philosophy is there. If when we speak about history, history means it has some beginning and end in the history, in time actually. In particular period or in time actually. So how a Paurushaya text can describe history actually? Or something which is historical in nature can be apaurushaya? This question may arise. Any answer to this?
History repeats. History repeats.
Yes, history repeats. Cyclical history. There is a direct sutra and Vedanta sutra for that. How everything repeats. And for that matter, even in the Vedas, there are some conversations are there. There are conversations between, for instance, what is that? Svetashvara or what Upanishad? That there is a different conversation. There are so many conversations, even in Upanishads and Vedas. And when we speak about conversations, they are some incidents in the history, right? When those conversations took place. It's not just mantra in the Vedas, no. So there are conversations. For instance, some time back I was speaking on this Mundaka Upanishad. So Mundaka Upanishad. We see that there are so many conversations. It was spoken to by someone else and then it was re-spoken. Like that it goes on. So we see like that even. So in this way, in a cyclical history, repetition, like Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, and it happened 5,000 years back. Now, Krishna says in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that I spoke this knowledge to sun god Vivasva. Imam Vivasvate yogam proktavan ahamo vede. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to sun god Vivasvan, but when Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to sun god Vivasvan, that time this verse would not be there in that Bhagavad Gita. Imam Vivasvate yogam proktavan ahamo, right? It won't be there, right? So therefore, some people may say that Bhagavad Gita is not eternal. It is not apaurushaya. It appeared in certain time in the history. So like that they may say like that. But then Krishna speaking to Arjuna will repeat again and again, right? In a cyclical history. So in that sense it is eternal. That's why Krishna also uses the word avvaya there. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avvayam. This indestructible knowledge. So in this way, this will repeat. Bhagavad Gita first time will always repeat again and again. And he will say that Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avvayam. Or Krishna speaking to sun god Vivasva, and it will repeat again and again. So anyway, so Gaudiya Acharyas, they recognized Shrutis and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati referenced Shruti to refute the oft-cited claim that unlike Shruti, the Puranas are not apaurushaya. He quoted Itihasa Purana Panchama Vedanam Vedaha. This is Chandogya Upanishad 7.1.4, which terms the Puranas and histories including Mahabharata as the 5th Veda, and also reiterated how in his Tattva Sandarbha Srila Jiva Goswami had established Srimad Bhagavatam as the supreme Vedic evidence. So here Chandogya, Shruti itself says that Vedas and Puranas and Itihasas are Itihasas means Mahabharata, Ramayana. So Puranas and Itihasas are also Veda. They are Panchama Veda. Like that. Panchama Veda. Like that, there are many. This is one statement from Chandogya. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also it is said like that. So like that, there are many quotes are there. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that famous, Prabhupada used to quote that. In Bhagavad Gita 3.15, Prabhupada quotes Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, saying that how Vedas are breathings of the Lord. Breathings of the Lord. What is that? Asya matasya bhutasya nishvasitam etadrug vedo yajurveda sama veda tarva girasa. It stops there, proper quote. But if you go to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you see that Itihasa, Puranam, Pancharatra all continues, right? That verse. They are all breathings of the Lord. So that shows that even where Puranas are all of equal status with Vedas or Shrutis, Smritis and Shrutis. Okay, next. Conversely, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had to address erroneous outlook of those supposed Gaudiyas who considered study of Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra impersonal speculation and thus not above but below their level of realization. So there are, one orthodoxy which says that Smritis and Smritis like Puranas and Itihasas are not Vedic. Then these people are there who follow Bhagavatam, which is a Smriti, who say that Shrutis are very low. And they are for ABCD. In one sense it is true. but like in the case, I'll just give one example. In Mundaka Upanishad it is said there are two kinds of vidyas, Paravidya and Aparavidya. So except Vedanta, all are Aparavidya. 4 Vedas, Vedangas, everything is Aparavidya. Aparavidya means inferior or materialistic knowledge is there. So now even Aparavidya can be Paravidya if you just interpret in terms of spiritual goal. So for instance, Jiva Goswami, Vedanga is grammar is Vyakarna comes in Aparavidya. So Jiva Goswami composed a Vyakarna with holy names of Krishna. Then it became Paravidya, right? So in fact, in Upasamhara means concluding words, Jiva Goswami, he says that this grammar is as good as Srimad Bhagavatam, he says. Every syllable is completely spiritual, fully spiritual, and it is as good as Srimad Bhagavatam. That means generally we rate Srimad Bhagavatam very high. I mean to say, rate, not just rate. So we consider it as highest among all the Vedic literatures. So anyway, the followers of, so for Gaudiyas, some Gaudiyas, especially Sarjiya group, because they want to relish only Rasa Tattva, so therefore they think that the basic spiritual message in the Upanishads is not so advanced like that, they think. But what is that? Taittiriya Upanishad again? Yeah, Taittiriya Upanishad. There actually the Krishna is defined as Raso Vaisaha, right? He is the absolute. Parabrahma is defined. Krishna is defined as, he is the embodiment of Rasa. So based on that only Rupa Goswami, the Mangalacharana verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he said Akila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti, the very form of all reservoirs of rasas, mellows, spiritual rasas. that is based on Taittiriya Upanishad. If you just are it is a paraphrasing of Taittiriya Upanishad. So those who are learned, they will see rasa in the Upanishadic statements also. Rasa vichara. Conversely, okay, notwithstanding that acharyas of all recognized Vaishnava sampradayas had composed commentary on these works, certain Sahajiya groups, under the misconception that real devotees discuss only Leela and never philosophy, most offensively regarded even Gaudiya Bhashya as loathsome philosophical ideation, and acharyas of the caliber of Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan as not pure devotees but mixed, whose approach to bhakti was tainted by non-devotional jnana. So they consider all these acharyas as jnana mishra bhakti. So among these Sahajiya groups, among Gaudiyas, they had so many misconceptions. Even some of them, they had, even initiating becoming guru is also it's a deviation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Trinada Pishuni Chena Tharora Pisahishuna Mani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadari. If you go by that verse, if you go by that, you should not initiate anyone, you should not become guru at all. So some Sahajiyas used to quote that verse and say that, oh, becoming guru, acharya is deviation. So like that. So there would be so many misconceptions. So like that also, so they considered these acharyas who wrote commentaries on Upanishads and Vedanta. So they are all Jnana Mishra, like that. Following the previous Vaishnava acharyas who gave paramount importance to Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Purana, while also upholding the dignity of the other Puranas, the Upanishads and other Vedic texts, Srila Saraswati Thakur explicated that the root of all fallacies concerning these scriptures was miscomprehension of the nature, scope and purpose of Vedic knowledge and literature. So this is the point. These words you see, nature, scope and purpose of the Vedic knowledge. Like I said, you can understand even apparently though that which is aparavidya can also lead to paravidya. In the course of long discussion at the residence of the learned and inquisitive Jamindar Sri Saradindu Narayana Rai, Srila Saraswati Thakur addressed the contention of those Prakrata Sahajiyas who spurned the Vedas, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita and other such Shastras as lower than Srimad Bhagavatam and thus largely irrelevant. Like that verse is there in Harivamsha, what it says. Ado ante cha madhye cha hari sarvatra giyate. How it starts. Vede Ramayane cheva Purane Bharate tata ado ante cha madhye cha hari sarvatra giyate. Now in some Puranas, other demigods may be glorified as supreme, but in the end, if you take all the Vedic literatures together, you will find that Narayana is supreme. Like that, therefore, Harivamsha, it is said that Veda, Ramayana, Purana, Mahabharata all glorify Hari in the beginning, middle and end. In the course of discussion, okay, that one, I read that. He narrated an explanation given to him by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. These scriptures are of the same quality as Srimad Bhagavatam and thus never to be disrespected, and further clarified that particular passages in scripture such as Mahabharata might be bewildering to asuras, karmis and jnanis and false devotees, but not to sufficiently qualified devotees and that those Vedic mantras that apparently do not describe Vishnu, in fact do so exclusively, yet unless understood through Vidvad Rudi, will indubitably be misunderstood. So, like we see in the what is the fourth offense in chanting? Fourth offense is Shruti Shastra Nindanam. So, Shruti Shastra Nindanam. We should not disrespect any Vedic literature. So, criticizing Nindana of any Vedic literature is a offense to the holy name. That is a point made here. So here, yet unless understood through the Vidvad Rudi, will indubitably be misunderstood. So Vidvad Rudi means what? So there are two ways of understanding Shastrika. So there is Agya Rudi and Vidvad Rudi. Agya Rudi means it is understanding of the ignorant people. Agya means ignorant. So explaining it in a ignorant way. Sometimes Western scholars like Prabhupada, he would not give literal meaning to the verses. So sometimes Western scholars, they would say that, oh, it is not a literal translation. But it is not a sometimes literal translation maybe it is meant for children, childish people. So for scholars, for Vidvad Rudi, Vidvad, it is not. Or for example, often people, when we distribute Bhagavad Gita, so when they read Bhagavad Gita as it is, they think that, oh, everywhere only Krishna is told about Krishna Bhakti. But Prabhupada is writing commentary in the style of a Vidvad Rudi. The style of Vidvad Rudi means how it is. The end conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Sarva Dharmam Parityajya, surrender unto Krishna. So everywhere he will push for surrender. Because he knows the internal meaning of or heart of Bhagavad Gita. That ultimately Krishna will disregard all his previous instructions. Or he will ask them to be rejected. So Prabhupada, he doesn't want his students or readers to get distracted in apparent teachings of Krishna. So that is Vidvad Rudi, So scholarly understanding. So in this way, now in many sections of Mahabharata and other scriptures, there may be some sections, sometimes even atheism may be there. Like for instance, Krishna, when he was speaking to Brajavasis, to convince them not to do Indra Yajna, just before Govardhan Leela. So he was speaking Karma Mimamsa and Sankhya philosophy there, atheistic Sankhya and atheistic Karma Mimamsa. Although they are considered as theistic because they accept Vedic authority, but mostly they are atheistic in nature. So, like for Karma Mimamsakas, God becomes, who is God? God is a bestower of results of their karma. Nothing else, nothing more than that. And for them, karma is more important. We are doing duty, karma, and he has to give us results. So this is what Krishna he was preaching atheism there. So why we have to do worship Indra? It is his duty. When we do our prescribed duties, he has to give us results. Why we are doing this worship like that? In this way, Krishna was arguing. So there may be such many discussions may be there. Like in Ramayana we see that Jabala Rishi, he came and he was speaking to Rama. And he also spoke so much atheism. You know where is that incident? Bharata and all the mothers, Sumitra, so everyone, Kaikeyi, all they went with rishis to bring back Rama from forest. So Jabala Rishi spoke atheism there. Of course, Lord Rama condemned it, criticized it, refuted it. But we see that like that there may be so many things, bewildering things in the Shastra. Practically it may be atheism. But that is all meant for bewildering, all this. Asuras, karmis, jnanis, false devotees. But those who know the essence, they will understand. Saradindu Bahu expressed the common doubt that the language of the Puranas reveals them as modern composition in contrast to the Vedas, which by linguistic analysis appear to be much older. This argument, you see, this is all coming from Western Indologists. It is not traditional Vedic scholarly discussion, means scholarly debate, part of the Vedic scholarly debate actually. So when in late 18th century, all these Indologists and Britishers are British hired scholars, because Maximilian, of course, he was in 19th century. So he was a German, but he was hired by East India Company. So many people were hired by East India Company and Britishers. So just to deconstruct all the Vedic scholarship from a Western point of view, and to establish the hegemony of Western culture and their religion and their Western materialism, and also to take over political control of India. So they started doing deconstruction of Vedic scholarship or Vedic knowledge. So they introduced this theory of linguistics, and you see they divided all the world religion, all the languages of the world into 4 parts, and they included Indian and Indian languages and Sanskrit, especially North Indian languages and Sanskrit, in Indo-European group of languages. What is called as IEL, Indo-European. So IEL it is called a group of languages. So like that, and then there are southern, Australia, New Zealand, and all this. There are other languages, Japanese. They put them into different. In this way, all the world languages were divided into 4. This linguistic theory came, and deliberately, why they wanted to put Sanskrit in relation with, and how they said, what is the logic behind that? Because the syntax in Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit, they are similar. Therefore, they are a group of same language group, and then they claimed that there was a one prototype language which is the source of these 3 languages. So Greek, Latin, and Sanskrit, because they are similar in the syntax. So in this way they created. Basically, you see the hidden agenda is that because Sanskrit is a rich language, and the knowledge and the culture and the religion, everything, the lifestyle which is discussed in Sanskrit language is very aristocratic. They wanted to identify themselves. We are not inferior, Europeans, because they wanted to impose their political and cultural religious superiority on Indians. So in this way they cooked up this whole linguistic theory, and after that, based on that, Max Muller was the first one to give dating to all different kinds of Vedic literatures, And what is the basis of his dating? The style of composition, writing is different like that, he said. I don't know what style of they are talking, which can be very, it's not such a very scholarly idea, but somehow it became, because of their political dominance, it came to be believed, and gradually because Sanskrit study got declined, so then it came to be accepted that the theories of these Western Indologists came to be accepted, although there is continuous debate until now. And then they introduced this Aryan invasion theory. So they came from the West, Europe, into India, and they started Vedic culture. Now again we have come back. You people are degraded now. Again we have come back. You have to take our culture now, like that. They impose their culture, and unfortunately, I don't know what went wrong. I am still not able to process it out. That why Indian Brahmins, they did not attack on this. We don't know, because they would always write in Sanskrit. We have to see the Sanskrit literature. So what was the response? Anyway, this point, Saradindu Babu expressed a common doubt that the language of Puranas reveals them as modern composition in contrast to the Vedas, which by linguistic analysis appear to be much older. So this is not acceptable at all. This is Western theory, Western idea. In reply, Srila Saraswati Thakur gave the example that a person's body remains the same when he changes his attire. Similarly, although the Puranas are sometimes lost and then represented anew in varying forms and idioms suitable to changing circumstances, their fundamental nature remains intact. Hence, to classify the Puranas as modern is as childish as thinking that sun horizon today is new and different from that seen by our forefathers. Rather, the Puranas are the oldest Shastras and have no actual appearance or disappearance. So, indicating the race course opposite Saradindu Babu's house, Srila Saraswati Thakur offered another analogy. If through the window one espies a jockey and steed go fast, he would not consider that the moment they crossed his vision constituted their total span of existence. He would realize that he had caught only a glimpse of them, that their existence began before his seeing them and would continue into the future. Basing his arguments on those given by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Tattva Sandarbha 12, Srila Saraswati Thakur further explicated that Purana means the oldest, and that the Puranas eternally coexist with the Vedas and thus are known as fifth Veda, Puranat Puranam. The term Purana comes from the word Purana, so Purana, completion. Prabhupada also he used to say that, Purayati iti Purana, like that. That which completes the meaning of the Vedas, or completes the Vedas. The Puranas are also named because they clarify, supplement, or resolve points not self-evident in the Vedas. So there is a footnote for this. Both the Vedas and Puranas are eternal, but in terms of cosmic time, the Bhagavad Purana is yet older than the Vedas. Because Chatushloki Bhagavatam's 4 essential verses 2.9.33-36 were revealed even before the creation. As stated in Brahmanda Purana, Puranani Tathartani, the Puranas give meaning of the Vedas. So Bhagavad Purana is even older than Vedas. Because they were 4 essential verses were given before creation, right? Saradindu Babu profusely thanked Srila Saraswati Thakur for purifying his home and cited, I came up to scoff. but stayed to pray. Scoff means insulting by laughing, or insulting laugh is called as scoff. Admitting that he needed to unlearn everything he had learned throughout his life. So there is a footnote here again. Truth from his lips prevailed with the doubt's sway, and fools who came to scoff remained to pray. Oh, this is from that Oliver Goldsmith's book, The Deserted Village. Anglo-Irish author, poet, and playwright. Okay, next. The language and style of the Upanishads being dissimilar to that of the Puranas, they were often regarded as a disparate genre of literature. The Upanishads consist largely of philosophical abstrusities that to supposed jnanis appear to uphold spiritual non-differentiation as the goal of the Vedas. Means impersonal Brahman. But such jnanis, penchant for cultivating knowledge meant for achieving such impersonal relation, was condemned by Vaishnavas as a blunder and major obstacle on the path of understanding the actual truth described in the Vedas. That famous verse is there, anyone remembers, from 10th canto of Bhagavatam? What it says? Jnane prayasam yadotu vapasya namanta eva sammukaritam bhavadiya vartham. That one only? What is that? Beating the husk. Same. Maybe some one of those verses. Beating around the bush, it is like that. That means impersonal understanding of the Upanishads. Srila Saraswati Thakur wanted to establish the Shastriya version that all Shastras are glorious because they glorify Hari. Therefore, Upanishads are treasured by genuine devotees who do not relegate them to be domain or speculative jnanis. He would quote the Upanishadic utterance, Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti, referring to the object, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, about which all the Vedas speak. This is from Kathopanishad actually. Yat Veda Yat Padam Amananti. Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti. Prabhupada quoted which verse? Anyone remembers? This is like a Bhagavad Gita, no? Vedasya Sarve Rahameva Vedyo. In that purport, Prabhupada quotes one Upanishadic statement about all the Vedas glorify Supreme Personality of Godhead. Huh? Where you are not able to see you. Hide. Sarvair Veder Giyate. Sarvair Veder Giyate. Krishna is glorified. If you see Sarvair Veder Giyate, where is Krishna comes there? Krishna is glorified in all the Vedas. What follows and what precedes, it is description of Parabrahma, Krishna, that how he is glorified everywhere, Sarvair Veda. Only that portion is quoted there. Like that. And the Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, wherein Lord Krishna declares, Vedaishta Sarve Rahameva Vedya. All Vedic literature is meant for knowing me. He thus demonstrated that although most of the Upanishads appear not to indicate Krishna, he is their only subject matter. The indirect approach of the Upanishads is paroksha, mysterious or encrypted, and is dear to Krishna. So this is from 11th canto of Bhagavatam. Parokshavad Rishayaha Paroksham Mamacha Priyam. The Vedic seers and mantras deal in esoteric terms, and I also am pleased by such confidence. There is another meaning to this verse actually. Parokshavad rashaya paroksham mamacha priya. Paroksha and aparoksha. Paroksha is called as spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Aparoksha is called as mundane knowledge. Krishna says paroksha, transcendental knowledge is dear to me. Parokshavada rishayaha. Rishis, they are always interested in parokshavada. And I also love it like that. Are dear to me, that is dear to me. This meaning is given by, this translation is given by Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava himself in his 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. But anyway, there are many meanings. Prati akshare prati shloke nana artha. Nana artha means many meanings. The Upanishads can be accepted in opposite ways. One that increases devotion, and another that leads away from devotion according to the attitude of the student. Dve vidye. There are two kinds of educational system. That is again from Mundaka Upanishad, right? Dve vidya, paro aparam cha, like that. So there are 14 vidyas. So Krishna said that in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyana. So there are 14 vidyas are there, and among the 14 vidyas, most of them are all Aparavidya. 4 Vedas and Vedangas. What are we? I'll just a minute. I will go to the footnote and I will just quote, because Mundaka Upanishad, Dva Vidya, this Ve Vidya, this verse is from Mundaka Upanishad. So we will just check what are. So I'll read that verse from Mundaka Upanishad. Dve Vidya Veditavya iti asma yad brahma vido vadanti parachaiva paracha. Para, Chaiva, Para. There are 2 vidyas. One is Para and another is Apara. Tatra Para, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samavedo, Tharvavedaha, Shiksha, Kalpa Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chanda Jyotisham iti. Ata Para Yaya Tadaksharam Madhigamyate. So then it says, that means 4 Vedas and then the 6 Vedangas, they are all Apara Vidya. And what is Paravidya? By Paravidya one can understand the Akshara Brahman, the absolute truth. So now based on this statement of Paravidya, definition of Paravidya, even if these Aparavidya also, when they are employed to understand absolute truth, then they also become Paravidya. So this is how it should be understood. So that is same thing here. The Upanishad can be accepted in opposite ways. One that increases devotion and another that leads away from devotion according to the attitude of the student. So this is how they are composed. Vedas are composed. Vedas are composed to cheat people also. It depends on your attitude. Like Prabhupada, he said, Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the followers. If we are insincere, like Paramatma is in our heart, you will see. If we are insincere, immediately he will guide. He will guide us. He will lead us away from truth. So he will cheat us. At Radhakund in 1935, Srila Saraswati Thakur further expounded this theme in a series of speeches explaining Shuddha Bhakti through the Upanishads. He opened by quoting Srila Rupa Goswami on how the Upanishads worship the holy name of Krishna. Now you see, when he in 1935 when he was speaking at Radha Kunda. So many Babajis and all these so-called Vaishnavas, devotees, Gaudiyas, and they thought that, oh, great Acharya has come and he will speak a lot of Rasa Leela maybe, Rasa Katha. And when they saw that he started speaking an Upanishad, they thought, okay, he's not a devotee, he is just a jnani like that. They went away. So, and here Saraswati Thakur, he opens his lecture by quoting the verse of Rupa Goswami. Nikila Shruti Mauli Ratnamala Dyuti Nirajita Pada Pankajanta Ai Mukta Kulai Rupashamanam Paritasvam Harinama Samshayami. O Harinama, the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly worshipped by the radiance emanating from the string of gems known as the Upanishads, the crown jewels of the Vedas. You are eternally adored by liberated soul. O Harinama, I take complete shelter of you. This is from Namastaka of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami wrote Namastaka. In that, this verse it comes. Nikila Shruti Mauli Ratnamala. Those who know Sanskrit Kavya, they will find lot of alankara here, ornaments. Literary alankara means what? Literary ornaments they are called as. So you can see all this, he compares them to Ratnamala, Upanishads. They are compared with Ratnamala, all these kind of things. Okay, now Rupa Goswami, he says that Upanishads, they are worshipping holy name, O Harinama. The tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly worshipped by the radiance. We don't see so much glorification of holy name. Namastuti in the Upanishads. They don't even take the direct names of Krishna. There are some, they call it as Vaishnava Upanishads. There is Gopala Tapani Upanishad, Narasimha Tapani Upanishad, Rama Tapani Upanishad. So there are some Vaishnava Upanishads where, and the most prominent among the Upanishads, they don't even take the name of, forget about glorifying the holy names. So how is that?
Kalisantara Upanishad?
Yeah, Kalisantara Upanishad, but that's not the most important one. What are those 10 important Upanishads which are commented by traditional scholars like that? So then how is that Rupa Goswami say? Yeah, that one quote is there of Kalisantara Upanishad. Then tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly worshipped by the radiance emanating from the string of the gems known as Upanishads, the crown jewels of all Vedas. Sometime I just contemplated on this point. How is that Rupa Goswami is telling? Because when they write, they don't write just because they have to write something. One answer came to my mind is in Prashna Upanishad, that concept, I think topic I spoke, Vacha Vachaka Bhava, is discussed in Prashna Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad is one of those 10 Upanishads, actually, prominent Upanishads. So they say Parabrahma is Vacha and Om is Vachaka, it is called. So Om is Vachaka. That which is described and the description. Om is description, and that which is the object of description is Parabrahma. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a song on this actually. How Harinama is Vacha and Krishna is Vacha. No, Krishna is Vacha and Harinama is Vachaka. Like that. There is one song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur where this concept of the Prashna Upanishad was elaborated by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and our many other acharyas, Vidya Bhushan, he has spoken on this. So, if Om is the description, that is what here it says, Rupa Goswami, right or not? Everywhere Om is there. Because every statement of the Upanishads and Vedas has to begin with Om and end with Om. Like generally we say Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra. How it starts? Atato Brahma Jignasa. But the original script of Vedanta, if you see, Om, Atato Brahma Jignasa, Om. This is how the sutras are composed actually. Om Janma Desya Yataha Om. Like that. Every sutra begins with Om and ends with Om. So, like that. So most of the Vedic statements and at least mantras, Vedic mantras, they begin with Om, end with Om. So therefore everywhere there is glorification of Krishna's or Krishna's holy name is there. Om is holy name of Krishna. If you see the commentaries by Vaishnava Acharyas on Gayatri Mantra, because Gayatri Mantra also starts with Om. If you see, they will comment that how it is a holy name of Krishna. Om. Our Gaudiya Acharyas, they say how Om is Krishna, Radha and like that in the description. And Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, I am Om. Like, very simple. No need of such. If you want to take Bhagavad Gita simple and straightforward. What is that? There are many places it says, right? In Bhagavad Gita. What it says? In 7th chapter, what it says? Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. He says, and then in the 9th chapter, 8th chapter, I think, Om Ityekaksharam Brahma, like that something was. So, chalo. So in this way, the Harinam on the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly worshipped. So this is Vidvad Rudi means. Vidvad Rudi, this is how it should be understood. Like Om is, if you say Agya Rudi, Om is what? Just Om. It's some sound it is. That's it. But in Vidvad Rudi, Om is what? Holy name of Krishna. Holy name of Krishna. It's Hare Krishna it is. In one of these lectures, Srila Saraswati spoke from the first 3 verses of Ishopanishad, on which he was writing a commentary. So Saraswati Thakur was writing a commentary on Ishopanishad. So there is a footnote on this. This commentary was never published and the manuscript is untraceable. What a loss. In another, he demonstrated how Gaura Tattva is described in the Upanishads. And in a third, he addressed the question of Leela not being overtly described in generally acknowledged corpus of Shruti by following the conclusion established by Srila Jiva Goswami in Tattva Sandarbha, and that Srimad Bhagavatam rather than Shruti is the topmost Vedic literature. Topmost Vedic evidence. He rebutted the epistemology of those who considered themselves orthodoxly Vedic. So now if you see different schools of Vedic thought, like Sankyaits, Nyayiks, Yogis, Mimamsakas, Vaisheshikas, so they stressed different aspects of Vedic branches as authorities. So here Saraswati Thakur, following Srila Jiva Goswami, Tattva Sandarbha, he established that Srimad Bhagavatam is topmost Vedic evidence. The outlook of Shruti does not oppose acceptance of the pastimes of Bhagavan. Yet, since Shruti is merely the first step in spiritual education, Leela has not been clearly treated therein. It is not being clearly treated. The purpose of Shruti is to vanquish the attitude of enjoying sense gratification. For without such preliminary preparation, it is not possible to approach the transcendental Leela. Okay, so this is a quote from Saraswati Thakur's quote from Gaudiya. Gaudiya is a magazine, Bengali magazine. Debunking a common misconception, the harmonist essay Vishnu and Vaishnava demonstrated that Vishnu Bhakti is positively and amply described in the four Vedas. So this is again based on harmonist 25.78 to 81. So that is September 1927 edition of harmonist. And to the frequent challenge that chanting the holy names, including the Mahamantra, was recently introduced practice not mentioned in the Vedas, Srila Saraswati Thakur would reply with evidence from Rig Veda that the name of Vishnu is not only mentioned but highly glorified in the Vedas. Om Asya Janato Nam Chit Vivaktam Mahataste Vishnu Sumatim Vajamahe Om Tat Sat. You see how this mantra starts. Om Asya Janato Nam Chit Vivaktam Mahataste Vishnu Sumatim Vajamahe Om Tat Sat. O Vishnu, your name is transcendental and thus self-manifest. Even without properly comprehending the glories of chanting your holy name, if we vibrate your name with at least a little insight into its glories, that is, if we simply repeat the syllable of your holy name, we shall gradually understand it. You see, this one statement has such a long translation because it's not just literal translation, it is explanation according to Vidwan Rudi. Okay, so there is this is based on Rig Veda 1.156.3. This translation follows Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's Bengali rendering in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.49 commentary of Jiva Goswami's explanation. Bhagavad Sandarbha 47.44 of this passage. Understood what it is meaning? Reference. This quote from Rig Veda was explained by Jiva Goswami in Bhagavad Sandarbha. Saraswati Thakur, he translated, that is in Sanskrit, right, in Bhagavad Sandarbha, that Saraswati Thakur in his Bengali commentary on 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he quoted and translated that into Bengali, and this is again retranslated here in English. Okay. As further testament that the Maha Mantra is found in the Vedas, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati quoted the Kalisantara Upanishad, 5th and 6th verse, in which the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is mentioned. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam Nataha Parataropaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. The 16 names of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, destroy all the contamination inherent to Kali Yuga. This is the conclusion of all the Vedas. And he clarified how the nature of the Mahamantra is distinct from other Vedic mantras. Mantra means that which delivers the mind from the mental plane. Vedic mantras are characterized by having 4 lines and such invocatory terms as Namaha and Swaha. The Mahamantra is different from other mantras. Comprised of the names of Bhagavan, it is meant for calling out to him. It is more powerful than any other mantra or process. So, this is Harikatamrita. Srila Prabhupada Harikatamrita. There is a book, 2 point. So in that, Saraswati Thakur explained the importance of Hare Krishna mantra over other Vedic mantras. And there is one more purport here. For an overview of the relationship between Vaishnavism and Vedic literature, see Satsvarup Das Goswami, Vedic Literature, Siddhanta and History, Chapter 4 of the Readings in Vedic Literature. This is there in Vedaves. This book is by Satsvarup Das Goswami. Okay, this is end. Any questions, comments? If you have time and energy.
Explanation.
Agyarudi and Vidvatrudi. There are two ways of understanding scriptural statements, Shastric statements. So, Agyarudi may be just it's a general literal translation, it may be. Vidvatrudi means in a scholarly understanding, in a scholarly way. Like Om means Hare Krishna. This is how it is Hare Krishna is done through the method of Vidvatrudi. So you will quote from Prashna Upanishad. Om is Vachaka, and Parabrahma is Vacha. So that Parabrahma is Krishna. Krishna, how Parabrahma is Krishna, then you may quote Bhagavad Gita. Parabrahma, Paramdhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. There are many other statements. So, in this way, Vidvatrudi means you explain it in a very scholarly way. You will bring out a scholarly meaning from that. An apparent simple statement. Om is Hare Krishna. So you will give so many Shastric statements from different angles with different Shastric logics. So this is called as Vidvatrudi. Scholarly method, in simple way, scholarly method is called as Vidvatrudi. So Saraswati Thakur used this a lot, Vidvatrudi. Any commentator, they will use this method in the Shastras. Anything else? Or some online? Hare Krishna.
I have a very simple question. It must be commonly asked to me. The fourth object of the holy name you mentioned.
How to?
A prayer to the literature is also a prayer to holy name.
Anyone able?
Offenses to the holy literature.
It's not clear, no?
It's an offense to, like the fourth offense of the holy name you mentioned.
Yeah, Shruti Shastra Nindana.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Brahmini, can you explain that how Shruti Shastra Nindana can be an offense to the holy name? Because one thing comes to is that Srimad Bhagavatam is what Krishna himself. And so holy name it becomes an offense. But when it is generalized Shruti Shastra Nindana, how can we understand this offense to holy name?
Sound is not. Mataji, can you send a message here? There is messaging facility.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll ask. I'll write it.
How can we understand that Shruti Shastra Nindana is an offense to holy name?
Shruti Shastra Nindanam is an offense to the holy name. Okay, how to understand? Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, anything else before that? We'll get the message. Question we'll get through this. He was asking question. Shivatmaka Prabhu wanted to ask question. Is there Hare Krishna? No.
No. Is there?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, the Vedas are called Apaurushaya, so this statement devotees agree with it, or so as a devotee should we agree with this statement or disagree?
Obviously, we accept that Vedas are Apaurushaya, and many Vedic scholars don't accept Puranas as Apaurushaya, but in Gaudiya Sampradaya especially, in our Sampradaya, we accept even Puranas as Apaurushaya. And also the meaning of Apaurushaya is also varies from one Vedic line of thought to another. So like Mimamsakas, they accept Vedas as Apaurushaya, but they say even God did not write them. Means they are not coming from God also, they are eternally there. So then Nyayiks, they don't accept them as Apaurushaya, they say they are Paurushaya, but they are written because they are written by Ishvara, like that they say. So they say like that. And Mayavadis, followers of Shankaracharya, they accept Vedas as Apaurushaya, but they are coming from Ishvara, they say. So some of the Vaishnava schools also, they say that they are eternal. Like Mimamsakas, they say that they are eternal. So our Gaudiya understanding is that it is coming from Krishna. So to support this, our Acharya has quoted that verse which I quoted in my class, Asya Mahatasya Bhutasya Nishwasitam. The Vedas are breathings of the Lord. Although others will argue in different way on this statement also, that breathing means for Lord reciting Vedas is as easy as breathing out and breathing in. Like that, they will give a different meaning to that statement, but the direct meaning is, if you see that the Vedas were breathed out by the Lord. And in Bhagavatam it is said, Vedo Narayana Sakshat, they are another form of Narayana. So in this way we say that they are coming from Narayana or Krishna. So, and they are Apaurushaya, even though, so just like Nyayiks may argue that if they are written by Ishvara, or Ishvara means here Lord Krishna or Lord Narayana, then they should be Paurushaya. But we say they are Paurushaya also, and they are Apaurushaya also, and they are coming from Lord Himself. So that is all. The general common means essential meaning of Apaurushaya means they are eternal, they are always there. So now if they are coming from the Lord at certain point of time, how they can be eternal? Like that question may arise. So for that we give example, just like sun rays are coming from sun, but their sun rays and sun are eternal always. It is not that one day sun came without sun rays, or sun rays came without sun. It is not like that. So in this way we argue our point. So like that there are different understanding among different scholars. Debates are there, debates go on there. And India was a land of debate. They always debated, and debates always help to cream out the essential meanings. So churning happens there. So we have to accept Vedas as Apaurushaya, otherwise we are considered as atheistic. We are not devotees. Okay, so we will see this question. That how we understand the fourth offense, the holy name. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna, and so I can understand, but why it is generalized to say Shruti Shastra, Ninda. So the basically point is that so the fourth offense is what? Shruti Shastra. We should not blaspheme the Vedic literatures. So for example, in India sometime they burn this Bhagavad Gita, they burn Manu Samhita because it is so like that. Because in all the scriptures Krishna is glorified, Krishna's holy name is glorified. Therefore we should not blaspheme Vedic literature. And in comparison with, of course, Bhagavatam is topmost Vedic literature, there is no doubt in that. Because why it is topmost Vedic literature? Because it directly depicts Krishna, his leelas, his name, form, qualities and pastimes. So in other Vedic literature, indirect approach is taken. But as we read from Mundaka Upanishad, even Aparavidya or other Vedic scriptures can also be understood in terms of Bhagavatam, in terms of knowledge of Bhagavatam, in terms of direct meaning of Bhagavatam. Hope I answered the question.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
And Prabhuji, also the point which you told about getting to Sanskrit words, the literal translation and the deeper meaning. So most of the times when I read Bhagavad Gita, I feel that Prabhupada has given different meaning in word to word and the translation sounding or appearing. So that makes it more personal to know that Prabhupada has given
No. Sometimes our acharyas, they just don't translate it. They will give a, like I read what example I should give? If you read Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhagavad Gita, in the translation only he inserted his comments, and that is called as Bhavanuvad. Bhavanuvad. Bhavanuvad means how it is? Spirit. What is the spirit of this verse? So like that. So spirit of the meaning. Sometimes they will not just direct meaning, they will not. Means literal meaning they will not give. They will give spirit behind that. I'll give one more example. In the introduction Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, he quoted that verse Sarva Dharma Parityaja, and he says that Krishna said loudly, Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So now if we just read the verse and its literal translation, we will not understand that Krishna is speaking loudly. So there are many such comments by Vaishnava Acharyas, like in Bhagavad Gita also. Sometime Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that when Krishna was speaking, he was beating on his chest. Like this. This is my opinion, like that. How we will understand that it is by reading that verse, literal meaning of that verse, we will not understand what is the spirit of that verse, how it is spoken. So like that, sometimes acharyas they give, that is called as scholarly Vidvad Rudi. It is. So Sanskrit words are Agya Rudi and Vidvad Rudi. Agya means general meaning understood as it is understood by general populace. So, but Vidvad Rudi means the method of interpreting or explaining in terms of scholarliness. So that is called as Vidvad Rudi. So like there is one more verse in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada quotes that from Bhagavatam. What is that? That verse. The lotus feet of the Lord are called as boat to transport, cross the ocean of material existence. Samashrita ye pada pallava plavam. Yeah, Samashrita ye pada pallava plavam mahat padam punye yasho murari. Mahat padam, that actually Murari word comes there, but Prabhupada writes Mukunda. Murari and Mukunda. Giver of liberation. Maybe Prabhupada thought, we cannot understand why he said instead of Murari he uses the word Mukunda. Sometimes they may not give literal translation like that. So they may say For example, sometime Karma Yoga may come in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada will say that it is Karma Yoga means Bhakti Yoga, work in devotion or something like that he may put it as. Because ultimately one has to come to Bhakti Yoga only. So he knows that. So this is Vidvad Rudi. So hope I am making it clear.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.